All right, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that break because I know I did. I listened to all of those announcements with you. I promise. Welcome back, ASU-TV people. We finally got the second half of this radio show that these radio people are listening to right now, which in a way makes one group of you a time traveler. So y'all can figure that out and figure out who it is that's really traveling time. But anyway, you're welcome to. We're back to the second half of Life at the Pack. I still have Fielding Belk with me in the studio. Got his last name right this time. And I still got Robert Hobbs over here shoved in the tech corner of things. So there's no need to worry. We're still here. And we've done all the backtracking I think we need to as far as, whatever happened before we actually started the show with freshman year and what me and Robert can remember. So I think we just now talk about, things in our lives. And really, I got to get this off my chest first. Where we're filming right now is in a K-Lab in Arkansas State University. Right next door is the one, the only Colin Pillow's office. That's a Mr. Pillow for people who aren't his best friend. So you call him Mr. Pillow, Robert.
I'll call him Mr. Pillow.
There you go. You need to meet Mr. Pillow. Mr. Pillow is probably the greatest person on this campus. I had him as my FYE teacher. And probably the favorite thing I did in that whole class was he would offer games of Jeopardy in that class. And the prize was always a $5 Sonic card. And I cannot tell you how many Sonic drinks that he bought me because it was worth it. And it was awesome. And he's right next door to us. There's a big window in this thing. And I'm just waiting for him to one day just open it while we're in here filming so he can wave in here. And maybe one day we can actually get him in this office and get him in our little studio here and have him talk with us, because I think it's important to get instructor viewpoint on how little they think the freshmen know about everything.
Yeah, well, I don't know a ton anyway.
So Fielding, share with us something. There's got to be something that's happened to you that's rattling around in there.
On campus or just any time?
Just any time, man.
Right, well, I guess I can talk about what we talked about on break.
Oh, you remember that time? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll lead you into this. I'll preface this. So, this is a story all about how Fielding Belk's mom robbed a Belk store.
Okay, robbed's a strong word.
Okay, so played a trump card in a Belk store. So Fielding, take it away.
Yeah, so with the last name of Belk, if you aren't familiar, there's a department store called Belk. I don't know, are there any around here?
I don't. There's not one in Jonesboro, is there?
I don't think so.
So there's not one in Jonesboro. There's one in Little Rock, I think. But I know what you're talking about.
We were somewhere in Alabama.
Southern style.
Yeah,
you got to see a commercial by then, surely.
Yeah. But, there's the Belk Bowl for whatever college football thing. So, yeah, that's always cool to see. But we were in Alabama, I believe. And my mom goes to Belk to a shoe shop. And I don't think I was with her, but she came home and told this story. And it was,
so what you're saying is there's no guarantee that this story happened.
No,
your mom could have told us.
This is something that she would do. It's just because... she's trying to get things done. And if, the person that's working there isn't trying to help her out, obviously I would do the same thing. It's not abuse my last name. She didn't abuse it, but it's do your job.
Abuse.
But anyway, she goes shoe shopping, finds a pair of shoes that she likes, but there aren't any in her size. And she asked the person working in the shoe department, hey, can you order these in my size? And I'm busy, can't really help you out right now. It's she's like, what? You're busy? Excuse me? And I don't think we can order those, and they'd probably come in a few months. And she's like, well, do you know who I am?
Oh my Lord!
It was she pulled out a card of some sort, showed him the name, and he instantly perked up and was like, oh, sorry, Miss Belk, sorry, let me go work on this right now. I think she got the shoes within 3 or 4 days after that.
Oh, and now you know that this poor guy, if he ever happens to meet the people that are in charge of Belk, and be like, who are you?
Yeah,
and
somewhere down the line we're related to him, and she did pay for them. Don't think that he just ordered them anyway.
It's not a true robbery.
She was just trying to get her shoes. The guy wouldn't help, and obviously, if he's working there, he's supposed to help out the customers, and he wasn't. So.
Robert, you got anything that can top the heist of the century over here?
Something that I think we can share is when we were walking down the hallway, literally earlier this week, singing the Big Time Rush.
Oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, tell the whole story, man.
Well, first of all, we're.
I think we just broke the studio.
We're very our entire quad are connoisseurs of music, I would say, and so we're like a group of people. We always walk around and just sing any song that comes to our head. And so when we finally got up to our quad, we're walking down the hallway down to our room, and for some reason we just started singing the Big Time Rush.
You have to preface this by saying we went in the wrong door for our quad, and so our quad is literally on the opposite end of the building. We have to cross the length of this building, and so we end up singing that whole theme song.
Yeah, and then as soon as we get to our door, we finish the final final lyrics of it, and the person that lives right across the hall from us just burst out of her door and just yells, "I love Big Time Rush!" And it was just like...
What's even worse about that is then we went to change our names in the group me for our quad so we know what's going on. And we couldn't decide which member of Big Time Rush that we were because that was what we were going to change them to. So, of course, we go back across the hallway to this person and say, "Hey, you watch Big Time Rush. Tell us which members we are." And found out that she's absolutely terrible under pressure because she just came to the door, hid behind her friend the whole time. And the only words I think she said was, "I don't know," and "sure." And
me holding the guitar definitely didn't help because
I
feel like...
we looked like we were about to serenade her.
You get into character with the guitar.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think he just happened to pick it up because we started singing Country Roads in the room. And so he had it, and we just burst out, and he didn't put it up. So, yeah, it looked like 4 guys were about to serenade her or something, which didn't help. And, I mean, I wish I could top that with a story, but the only story I got is, like, this tab key is broken on the keyboard in this room. And I don't know who it is. And so, Mr. Roberts, when you hear this, because this is on your radio station in your K-Lab, I didn't break it. And Dr. Pitts, I promise I didn't break this. I'm a good member.
Before we get in here,
There you go. That's a second opinion there. I was just sitting here breaking. And anyone who hasn't discovered the usefulness of a tab key, just start hitting it every once in a while. I think I took a test today. We had a unit test in media writing. Yeah, in a media writing class. I don't think I ever used the mouse. Like, I think I just used the tab key to bounce around to the different questions on this quiz. The tab key is probably the most useful button on the keyboard. Speaking of keyboards, okay, y'all won't have any knowledge of this unless, for some reason, y'all are taking a foreign language class. Are you taking any foreign language classes?
No.
Okay, so this is an all about me story. But when you take a foreign language class, you have to do your assignments still online for some of them at least. I don't know Spanish or French. I'm in German. So we have to do these German assignments online. And you can't type in German on an American keyboard. Yeah. Because unlike your phone where it just loads up the different looking keyboard, you're stuck with the American keyboard. But you can go into settings and say, "Hey, I would like you to read this American keyboard as a German keyboard." And so it can do that, and it replaces like 3 buttons up in the corner with the umlaut characters. And so that was easy enough. I just remembered where they were, and it was pretty simple because it was 3 little buttons there. The problem is the freaking question mark, and I still do not know to this day where a question mark is on a German keyboard. So I'm sitting there doing my assignment, and every time I have to type a question mark in our dialogues that we're typing out, I have to go into my settings, switch the keyboard back to English, hit the question mark, then go back in and switch it back to a German keyboard. And it caused my homework to take me like 20 minutes to finish one assignment.
The question mark. Copy it. Come on, man.
This kid, oh my lord. What an idea. Oh my goodness.
Instead of switching your keyboard every time.
I can't believe I didn't think of that beforehand. Oh
Unless
my
you're
lord.
copying and pasting anything else. Copywriting is bad. Plagiarism is bad, first of all. That's why we're copying and pasting a question mark only.
Yeah, question marks I don't think have been trademarked by anybody. Have the Fine Bros trademarked the question mark yet?
Why would they?
I know they tried for React a while ago. Did they get the question mark?
I don't think so.
I don't think they got the question mark. So yeah, question mark is still fair use. So you can copy and paste the question mark all day long.
I hope that saves you some time.
Yeah, no kidding. And be careful with exclamation points. Don't be that kid that uses 3 exclamation points after every sentence because he's a happy freshman going on. But now, back to fielding. And Robert, I hope you don't feel shunned back here in this little corner running all our equipment. But
y'all are packed back there. I got all the space.
I know. We gave fielding like this whole...
I got the good chair.
In fielding's camera, you can just see all this room that fielding has. So me and Robert are sitting over here sharing this tiny little nook of room. But no, you came in here, and so you... beforehand, I'll leave this for you to tell, but you came in here and basically had the truest freshman reaction to coming into the K-Lab. Yeah. So you can just share what you did when you came in.
I mean, I was taking pictures, and I was sending them to my dad and my friends, and I was like, look how cool this is. Look where I am. Look what I'm doing. I've never done anything like this before. It's super exciting to get in here. Because, like, you don't have 92.9 ESPN here, but like I listened to Chris Vernon back in Memphis, and this guy, he's the funniest like sports talk guy that I had listened to, and he rarely talked about sports anyway.
Yeah.
Always talked about his own stories, but like he always live streamed his stuff, and his studio was so cool. Just Memphis stuff everywhere, big old desk, and I was like, well, I mean, this is almost the same because it's like there's microphones and buttons everywhere, and he's got headphones on, and just everything's going on.
We're about to use a little bit of this equipment because we're gonna have to go to another break. So we're gonna have to send our ASU-TV people to another little break for them, and then they'll come back after the commercial break to find us not doing anything, waiting patiently on them to return, and we'll see you after the break, ASU-TV people. All right, welcome back from that song, and welcome back, ASU-TV people, from your break. You are listening to Life at the Pack and watching Life at the Pack on ASU-TV and Red Wolf Radio. And this segment's almost going to have a theme to it because we were talking about so much while the song was playing and during our break, and that is stealing Red Wolf Roundtable's thunder and just totally talking about fantasy sports leagues.
Yeah, I didn't even hear the song, so...
I know, I don't think any of us listened because Fielding, I think, brought up the fact that he needs to check his fantasy matchup, and he's playing me, and so he's going to lose, is what he's trying to say, but he got on and checked him, and we just started talking about it, and I mean, so, like, how's your season looking on fantasy, Mr. Fielding?
In the league with y'all, it's not too hot because I did have the 14th pick, and I did go for 2 wide receivers. Wait, no, I didn't. I went 2 running backs because that's,
that's not terrible. That's not terrible, yeah.
Yeah, they did well.
I mean, we had a dude in that league go for a kicker first round. Yeah.
Did he win this week?
No, he didn't, but he actually has a surprisingly decent team for a dude who drafted a kicker, and then I'm pretty sure a defense.
First and second round?
Yeah, first and second round. So
yeah, that makes me feel a little worse. But yeah, I was winning going into Monday, and then Derek Carr threw his 3 interceptions, and in ESPN you get negative points. So that's fun.
Negative points makes NFL and all that fantasy so much more fun.
Yeah. Because
I had Chargers defense, which I don't know what told me that was going to be a good pick, except for like analysts were like, yeah, look at the Chargers defense.
Yeah.
And so for some reason I had them, and they're also playing Kansas City, and I guess I just gambled that Mahomes would not be as good as everyone was saying Mahomes was going to be.
Well, he threw 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I got negative 5 fantasy points for the Chargers defense, and luckily it was still enough to beat you.
It's not my fault that 2 of my receivers had 0 points, even though they were the number 1 targets for their team.
Yeah, no kidding.
Amari Cooper was one, probably?
No, I don't think Amari Cooper was on your team, was he?
No, it was
He's terrible. Always.
It was Mike Wallace, which is he's technically the number 1 receiver for the Eagles right now, while Alshon Jeffrey's out.
Yeah.
But he had 2 targets and didn't catch either of them.
Yeah.
And then the other one was
Goodwin.
Yeah, Goodwin.
Marquise Goodwin. Yeah.
Marquise Goodwin.
But it also didn't help that Aaron Rodgers broke himself for the whole first half of that game.
Like, if he would have played the entire game, I feel like he would have scored like 40 points.
He turned it on
me the game.
at the end. It's weird that I've played Robert, and now I'm going to play you. Yeah. And so I guess the next guest is just going to have to be my next opponent. Yeah. The next dude we put in this room.
That's how you figure it out.
That's how I'll figure it out, yeah. And then I'll just trash talk him the whole show and do all that. But no, and of course in the ESPN League, we don't have defensive personnel. And so you don't get the joy of drafting defensive personnel, but me and you do. And so you went and outbid me for defensive personnel, and I'm not going to forgive you for it.
I mean, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have told me how much you bid for.
You asked me, and I was just going to say, and I didn't even think about it. And then you said, well, I'm bidding 25. And I think you actually bid 30 just to put, and I was so mad at you. But what else do we got going on as far as this week?
Where I'm from, Collierville, they just built like a multi-million-dollar new high school that looks like a college campus, and they offer trades.
Yeah.
And I still follow them on Twitter, and they posted something the other day where they did a VR forklift training thing for people interested in like construction.
Huh.
And they had the little joysticks and the VR, and it was what's the word? It was portrayed on the wall so everybody could see where it going.
Projected on the wall. That's what I mean. There you go.
Yeah. But like, it seems super cool because I didn't have any of that when I went to the school.
Oh yeah, I don't think my school still has any of that.
But now they have baking. They got like not knitting, like sewing and just a whole
underwater basket weaving.
Yeah,
all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then my school didn't have any of that, and I feel almost certain that your school didn't.
Grad class of 30.
No, the coolest class you probably could have gotten to my school was a communications class where you just sat on a computer and played games.
There you go. I mean, I think that's what I think the coolest, and they didn't even have it when I was there, but I'm pretty sure the coolest class that my high school has now is like one classroom bought a drone, not a classroom set of drones.
Just one.
One classroom and one class has rights to one drone. And I think that's the coolest class they have. And I really think the only reason they did it was because there were these two dudes that are a grade below me, so they're freshmen in college now. Good Lord, I'm old. But they did all sorts of stuff for the school because they just had, they had money to spend on it, and so they just went out and did it. They made a lot of promo films for the school, and I'm pretty sure they just donated the drone to the school, and that's how that class got started. But I mean, we're all transferring to fielding school now, so I can be a VR forklift driver.
My first big boy purchase was a drone.
Oh yeah, your first big boy purchase?
DJI Mavic.
Oh my goodness.
What's it called? No, Spark.
Spark.
Mavics
Okay.
Super expensive.
Is the Spark's the smaller one, right? And then
Yeah.
they have the Phantoms.
The Phantom, yeah.
And then
That is
big
my
boys.
First big boy purchase, and I used all my graduation money on it.
What was your first big boy purchase, Robert?
What is a big boy purchase?
Like
Well, if
good amount of money that's of something that you have wanted.
Well, now what's funny is this is gonna vary because how much loosely, you don't have to do
haven't
exact details,
used it
but
a bunch.
how much did you spend on it though, like loosely?
I don't know. I think when I got it was 500, and then
So yeah, a couple hundred.
yeah,
Couple hundred.
If you wanted to make it go farther and faster, you have to get a separate controller. It's another 100, and I haven't bought that.
Oh my
So
Lord.
it can only go like a mile out, and it can only go like 12 miles an hour, and you use your phone to control it.
Oh my Lord, I can't even think. Like, I don't even think I ever had the liberty to make a big boy purchase like that because I always had a girlfriend, and so my big boy purchase was spending money on my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so I never got to stockpile huge amounts of money
Yeah,
to
mine-
spend on that.
I did spend $600 in one day last semester.
On multiple things or on one?
Yeah.
Those are multiple things.
Yeah,
So that's a big boy day.
that's a big. Oh my Lord, a big boy day. But as much as I'd like to continue chatting with you guys, we are definitely running short on time here. And there's one more song we're gonna play our radio people out with before we go. But before we even get to that, it's time for us to say goodbye to our ASU-TV viewers. And stay tuned to Red Wolf Radio and ASU-TV to catch some shows coming on after us. They got a bunch of good programming coming out now that we've remodeled the studio and got some fresh faces at Red Wolf Radio. For us to leave you all, we're going to play our radio people out with a song and just wave goodbye to our ASU-TV people after we do so. This last song is probably my favorite song of all time and a good fitting song to wrap up my own week of music. It is a song from the 1970s, so even back before Asia, but by a more, I'd say, well-known band in Boston. And this is my favorite song of all time. I could listen to the song on repeat all the time and never get old. This is Peace of Mind by Boston, and we will see you later. Thank you for watching today's episode of Life in the Pack. We hope you enjoyed it. There will be new episodes coming out twice a week on ASU-TV, or you can tune into Red Wolf Radio to catch the full hour show at 8 p.m. Central Time on Fridays. You can also follow us on Twitter at Life in the Pack 1. That is Life in the Pack number 1. And you can send us all sorts of things we should talk about on the show or questions that you want answered on the show, and we'll try to get to them the best we can. We hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned to ASU-TV for more content. Boom! That's how it's done.